For the first 15 years of my life, I was something called skinny fat, which is basically where I was extremely thin, had no muscle, but I still didn't have a visible six pack. I was not lean enough. My body fat percentage was still too high. At 15 years old, I started going to the gym. And immediately, in the first 3 months, I made a lot of progress, a lot of noob gains, built a lot of muscle, and even shedded a lot of fat. I thought I would be able to do this forever, but that's not really how it worked out, at least not yet. Eventually, fall rolled back around, and I decided I wanted to focus on building more muscle. So then I went on a bulk. And then January rolled around, and then I decided to try to lose more weight. And it was always this back and forth, should I be lean? Should I be big? Couldn't ever really make up my mind. I always thought it was possible to build muscle and lose fat at the same time, but after a while, I could never seem to do it until I discovered the secret, which I'm gonna tell y'all in this video. To fix skinny fat, there are 3 to 4 main things you need to be doing. The first one is obviously, as I mentioned, being in the gym, lifting weights for hypertrophy, adding weight to the bar, using good form, training close to failure several times per week, several sets per week. Just those things will work in the beginning, but once you hit a plateau, the other things start to become extremely important. The second thing you need to do is fix your diet and make it more nutrient and protein dense. Instead of changing the number of calories you're eating in a day, make sure that the foods you're actually eating promote fat loss and promote muscle building. The next 2 things are sleep and sunlight. Sunlight is very important for your circadian rhythm and vitamin D production. Plus, you'll also just look better tan during the summer, if we're being honest. The reason why sleep is important is because that's when your muscles actually grow and repair themselves. That's when you actually make your hormones and lower cortisol. Sleep is also important for fat loss, energy output, and appetite control. All right, so the reason why bulking, cutting, all this yo-yo dieting doesn't work is because it doesn't address the root cause, your poor nutrition. You are not eating well enough. You are not fixing your diet if you are bulking and cutting consistently. I know you're probably eating the same things, just less calories, more calories. Well, the calories don't matter, man. You need to fix what you are eating. You need more protein, more vitamins and minerals. All this is going to help you recover. And you need essential fats. Fats are the most disrespected and neglected macronutrient because not only are they essential, but they literally produce all your sex hormones. The main sex hormone, testosterone, literally helps you build more muscle and burn more fat and literally turns you from a bitch into a man. Made a whole video about that. Unlike protein and fat, carbs are not essential for any bodily processes at all whatsoever. They are strictly a fuel source, an energy source. And yes, your muscles will use glucose during a workout, but in the absence of glucose, your body will make more of it, and it will also make ketones. Following a ketogenic diet, I ended up building more muscle just because of the sheer nutrient density of my diet, and it just made it impossible to fail. Now, every bodybuilder or fitness guru will tell you that you need carbs, and that if you don't have carbs, you're going to be so flat, depleted, you're not going to work out well. This just isn't true, especially in my experience. Most sources of carbs are just devoid of nutrition. You need to get all white starches, sugars out of your diet immediately whatsoever. You need to be eating more meat, specifically red meat. This is the most nutrient-dense food on the planet. So once you decrease carbohydrates and increase protein and fat, you would have more resources to build more muscle and testosterone. But as I said at the beginning of the video, if you don't sleep well, 7 to 9 hours, your body won't synthesize the proteins, synthesize the fats into testosterone, and then you will just look like a complete mess. Sunlight and vitamin D is directly linked to testosterone as well. Ideally, you want 30 minutes in the hot sun, not too many clothes on, maybe like some shorts. That's about it. Obviously, if it's colder or grayer, or you're wearing more clothes, because of those conditions, you would need more sun naturally. All right, so you might be asking, how much should I eat to lose fat, to build muscle? Should I bulk? Should I cut? Should I do a body recomposition? And I'd say, don't really worry about it. You grew from a baby mammal without ever thinking about food, calories, portion control, or anything. You just ate as much as you wanted. Now, for some of you, this might have made you obese. For some of you, it might have made you underweight. But when you eat correctly, you can eat intuitively. You can eat until you're full and satiated. Then you can take breaks and fast. The problem with bulking and cutting is you're trying to unnaturally change the scale. You can drop a lot of fat really fast, but you could risk some muscle loss. If you're eating a meat-based diet until you're comfortably stuffed, you'll lose fat as possibly as you can. If you try to restrict nutrients and protein, you'll probably lose muscle as well, and that's obviously not what we want. We want to lose fat and build muscle. That's another problem with bulking. You're building muscle just to get fat. And once you introduce new fat cells to your body, they only shrink, they don't actually ever go away. So there's no reason for someone to ever try to become obese or try to be fatter just for the sake of bulking. I'm not rejecting thermodynamics or mass, but a lot of people are just gaining weight way too quickly. You'll only gain about 15 pounds at most in a year. Maybe only 10 to 8. For people who are really advanced, it might only be 4. Plus, that's not accounting for any extra fat you might already have on your body. Obviously, if you want to gain weight, you need to eat more. I'm not telling you not to eat more. I'm telling you eat as much as you want in the context of your diet. You need strict parameters because all these ultra-processed, hyper-palatable foods, all these refined sugars and carbs, seed oils, that is how you overeat. That is how you get fat. You do not get fat from eating too much steak, I promise you. I eat a different amount of food every day, but at the end of every day, I make sure I'm full. And all those protein and nutrients are going to be used for building muscle. That fat will increase my testosterone and give me energy. Nothing is to waste, absolutely nothing. If you want to lose some fat, you don't need to burn a bunch of useless calories. So there's no need to do cardio ever. If you do it for fun, that's completely fine. But don't ever force doing these long sessions because they will increase your cortisol, thus lowering your testosterone and probably worsening your sleep, leading to less overall gains. Now, sprinting is really good. Sports are really good for you. A lot of other stuff's good. I just mean like really long distance, like you're running for several miles, that will hurt your performance, definitely. Now, if I don't want you to track calories or track your weight on the scale, what's the best way to know if you're making progress? And the simple answer is the mirror. But we don't really see changes immediately. So another metric that might be helpful is how long you've been sticking to your diet, or how long you've been away from certain foods, or how many steaks you've put down or how many pounds of meat you've put down. That might actually be a great way to track progress. If you want to learn how to train and diet correctly and just build the overall lifestyle to improve your health, testosterone, longevity, and everything, click the link in the description. There you will have access to my school community and all my future courses. Can't wait to see y'all in there, and peace out.